these trade rumors for the Avs are getting ridiculous as the trade rumors just keep on escalating. The rumor mill keeps on chugging, and we are getting into the peak offseason speculation mode. What is up, guys? This is Avalanche Digest, and if you love what we do here, you love our episodes, don't forget to subscribe. The 67.5 of you guys aren't actually subscribed. I promise you won't regret it, and let's just keep getting on with the news. So, this actual blockbuster trade that was proposed was between the Avs and the Canadiens. Now, the Avs and the Canadiens have actually traded quite a bit in the past. Obviously, there was the famous Patrick Waugh trade that brought him to Colorado. Then there was the trade that brought Arturi Lekin into Colorado. And then there was another one where the Avs traded Alex Newhook for some draft capital. So the Avs and the Canadiens have actually had quite a bit of a past with trading with each other. So it's not out of the question that, yeah, absolutely, they would be looking at each other as a trade partner. But as it was kind of getting into with the article, they actually made the point that the proposed deal would be a blockbuster, as Montreal would get two impact players, that being Ross Colton and Josh Manson, while Colorado would obviously clear the cap space. That's about $8.5 million just with Ross Colton and Josh Manson, and also get some draft capital, as well as Jaden Struble. Well, who is Jaden Struble, you ask? Well, see, I predicted you would ask that. Jaden Struble is a defenseman. He has 13 points. He's actually very young. He's 23 years of age. He's currently a restricted free agent with the Montreal Canadiens. That basically means that they can almost pretty much get whatever. We have some serious leverage in order to actually sign this player. And he's been credited defensively. He's also been credited for his skating, which for the Colorado Avalanche is extremely intriguing. Now, obviously, does not have a large amount of offense. Funny enough, while going through his stats, I was actually looking at his overall numbers, and he was being credited as an offensive defenseman, which no, he is not. But he's a very good defensive defenseman, and he is big, he's physical, and they say he's a very good hitter as well. So that is something intriguing. You ship out a player like Josh Manson, which the Avs do like, because he brings an edge, a physical edge, that not a lot of other players on the defense do. So therefore, having a guy like Jaden Struble to come in and replace Josh Manson is pretty intriguing. Now, when we get onto the players that the Avs would actually have to give up, we have Ross Colton, as we've talked about before, and Josh Manson. Both of these players are ones that I've actually talked about previously that the Avs could potentially move away from. Ross Colton would honestly hurt to move away from. I really like the guy. I think his passion is evident on the team just as a teammate. And even every time he scores a goal, you always know it's Ross Colton because he gets so hype about it. But really, you like a lot of what he does. His underlines are very good. The problem was, especially this season, he had a lot of trouble with the injury bug. As a fairly healthy player, that was really sad to see. And obviously, he just missed basically the entire playoffs. So moving away from an expensive $4 million contract like Ross Colton could be fairly appealing, especially if they feel like they can get another third-line wing for a little bit better value for a cheaper contract. Now we move on to Josh Manson. Josh Manson is a very interesting situation because I really like what Josh Manson does in the playoffs. I think he's incredibly effective offensively. I think the passion as well just jumps off the screen, I guess, or if you're there in person to see a playoff game, lucky you. But really, I think Josh Manson, the biggest problem he has is staying healthy, and his defensive concerns have cost the Avs quite a bit in the past. He's takes a lot of dumb penalties. He's also extremely injury-ridden and injury-prone at this point in his career because he plays such a big physical style of a game. It's just taken his toll on his body. And at 33 years of age, he's having a bit of a tough time as time goes on. You can see he only played 48 games for the Avalanche, and that's not even out of the ordinary. Ever since he signed his big contract, he's had a lot of trouble staying in the lineup. So this could be him and Ross Colton being packaged in a deal could be an interesting prospect. Now, for me, I don't exceptionally love this prospect of doing it. But it makes sense why the Canadians would want to. Obviously, they want to make a big splash for their players and for everybody in their lineup, basically, and their fans as well. They feel like they're ready to take the next steps in the playoffs. But for the Avs perspective, it's a little bit hard of an ask to ship out two roster players, get a guy who's a little bit unproven, who hasn't even played a full season in his career, and then also recoup some draft capital in 26. It's not even this draft. So it's a little bit hard to manage that. There would definitely have to be some more surgery done. Obviously, you would just have roster spots open. The Avs would have to make further trades with this draft capital. And it would be interesting to see what happens because this defensive class for the free agents are kind of thin. So maybe trading could be an option. Let me know what you guys think down below about this situation and this potential trade. But there's another bit of news that I also want to talk about. And that's that Pete DeBoer has been fired by the Dallas Stars, which is so unsurprising when you actually look at what happened. The way he mistreated Jake Ottinger had me feeling bad for him as an Avs fan. And it was kind of the writing on the wall that either Pete DeBoer or Jake Ottinger could not return next season to the Dallas Stars. And obviously they chose the head coach. A head coach that's had quite a bit of a notable shelf life. As time goes on, obviously, every time he gets into a team, they go on a deep playoff run. That's well known. But he never wins. So that team goes forward. They do well, but they always fizzle out somewhere along the line. And that's what's happened to Pete DeBoer over and over again. And such an accomplished coach always gets moved out every single time in very short order. This is like after year 3 for the Dallas Stars. But the Stars general manager, Jim Neal, actually went on to say that basically gave the canned corporate answer that, yeah, we appreciate everything he's done. I hope he has the best moving forward. So it's definitely a situation where everyone basically saw once the Stars got eliminated by the Edmonton Oilers and they pulled Jake Ottinger after only 2 shots on goal, everyone basically knew the way that Jake Ottinger was sitting there, the way he looked just completely dejected. Everyone knew that basically that was the end for Pete DeBoer. I think even Pete DeBoer knew it himself. So that is a very interesting thing, but it's quite good for the Avs because pretty much every other coach other than Pete DeBoer, the Avs have just dismantled, but they just for some reason cannot beat Pete DeBoer. And I think it's quite an interesting thing when we're firing coaches. I would also say that I think Jared Bednar's Stanley Cup champion leash has gone out after this season. I think he has one more good season to prove that he can take this team far and still do well with the Colorado Avalanche in the playoffs, not just the regular season. And we could potentially be looking at even our own Jared Bednar in the hot seat. But let me know what you guys think below. Let me know what you think of the trade. Let me know what you think of this just crazy news. But I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.